What's up? Welcome back to another edition of Chat It Up Sports, episode 161. Can y'all believe it? We are nearing and dearing closer and closer to 200. We've got an all virtual show here tonight. We're going to play a little love hate, and then we got some other games that we're going to try out. One we've done before, another we're going to test out for the first time, sort of testing the waters. We're going to fill in some blanks. We're going to figure out what is fact and what is cap. Joining us here on the show today is a lot of people back in the Chattanooga area. I am back in the Florence area, unfortunately. But we are all, as I mentioned, we all are virtual tonight. We got the crew, Malcolm Harris, Drew Rogers, and Joseph Guthrie hanging out with us tonight. Boys, what's going on? Happy Tuesday at this point.
Happy Tuesday, brother. It's good to see you, man.
It's good to see you guys as well. I missed y'all, and I didn't get how much time outside of recruiting. I wasn't in the Chattanooga area this weekend, but you know, work had me all over the place, and we're going to get into that a little bit more in depth on my side, love and hate. But Drew, what's going on with you, bud?
Not much, dude. This should be episode 162. We tried to do 161 on last Thursday. As you can see, it didn't make it out of the R&D process,
archive?
But yeah, the archives, sure. But yeah, we're good. I'm sitting in my home. I'm happy to. I love the foundation, but I'm very happy that I'm gonna, as soon as we hop off here, I just walk to my living room, turn on the television, there'll be sports on. So
that's true, and I'm glad that you said something about heading to the studio when you did, because that would have been real embarrassing if you got there and we're all just like, "Where the hell's Drew?"
Just a bunch of softball girls staring at me like, "Hey, where are your friends?" It's just me tonight.
Solo in the studio.
Yeah, Joseph, what's going on with you, buddy? Nice win this weekend for the Georgia Bulldogs.
Yes, wire to wire. Eat it, Brandon Walker. It's it's first place I want to go there. Good, man, good. I still trying to recover. This is 161 part 2. I mean, if anybody out there can read lips and wants the episode bad enough, I'll send it to you personally, because I'm just so ashamed that Drew and I we absolutely sniped this past weekend of college football outside of the Oregon-Iowa game, which we were talking about pre-show, and no one will ever know. No one will ever know. It's just, I can't think about it anymore. I'm already sad.
Hey, we got another big weekend coming up this weekend for you as well. Georgia, Texas. I'm sure we will get into that on Thursday when we talk about the Core 4, as long as we don't have any more audio technical issues happening in that realm. I assume that won't happen again.
Will not happen again. Will not happen.
And Chase is back stateside. We miss Chase. We miss Garrett, obviously, as well. Chase staying warm in good old Louisville, Kentucky this week. We might get him back for Thursday. We definitely miss him for sure on the show. But let's jump into it. Let's get into a little love-hate from the weekend. I'm sure I can guess what y'all's to hate would be from the weekend of actually not having the episode recorded. And as you said, allegedly calling all of the things that you did. Again, we will never know. Only the two of you know.
Allegedly. Yeah.
Allegedly.
I know. It's kind of like you go out and you shoot even par, and you come back and tell all your buddies like, "Hey, I shot even par." And then your next round, you put up like an 85 when you all play together. So I'm sure that's what we'll do this Thursday.
I couldn't think of a more perfect explanation. Like, I can't wait to go 0-4 this week in the Core 4, because sad times, man. Sad.
Very sad times. Joseph, you were up there on the big side of things. You tell us a little bit about your love and hate from this weekend.
Oh, man. Oh, dude. First one, total homer pick. It was my Saturday stud sticker. At no point in time was I stressed about Georgia playing Mississippi State on Saturday. And that, boys, let me tell you, that was euphoric. It's been a while since I've watched Georgia wire to wire just win a football game like that. Well, I say that. I know they did it against Kentucky. I know Austin Peay. I know the FCS games. I understand. But most of the games they've played this year have been a sweat fest. And it's been Georgia's going to go down 7, 10, 14, maybe. And then we're going to see where we can go from there. And they did not do that in this game. I think at the only point in time my heart rate got a little bit high was when we fumbled going into the end zone, but we quickly, we got the ball back and ran away with it. Looked great across the board. Hard to complain. Loved what I saw from the Dogs this Saturday. As far as hate goes, the ACC championship picture, what Louisville, Virginia, what the hell was that, dude? I mean, it's sitting right there. The ACC trophy's like, somebody come claim
Who
me.
wants me?
And the entire ACC was just like, nah,
We're good.
somebody else. We're good. You can Georgia Tech, you can have it. You know what? We'll leave the door open for Miami because why not? Why not? That's exactly what we need is for them to crystal 2 games away, eliminate their ACC chances, and somehow still find themselves alive in the ACC title race. I don't know. It's a crapshoot. You know what? I feel good about. I picked Pitt to be in the ACC title game. I'm not going to tell you the other team, certain Tiger Paw that might not even make a bowl game. But you know what? At this point, Pat Narduzzi, Pitt Panthers, we're cheering for you, baby. We're cheering. I mean, I don't care if you win the ACC title game. You just got to make it, and I will ride that train into the offseason. So
I was on the Pitt train as well. College game day headed there this weekend.
I mean, a huge game, not for their ACC title hopes, but huge game for
they could knock Notre Dame out of the playoffs this week. I mean, that would be incredible. That'd be surprising, but it would be awesome.
All right, you go, Drew. You're up
you
there.
want me to go? Okay.
Yeah, you go.
Pretty simple. Diego Pavia? Sure. I mean, let's talk about it, dude. He I have not seen a better college football player all year. I don't think one's out there. You can tell me Mendoza, but he sucked for about 2 hours in that Indiana game. You can tell me Julian Sayin. Well, he's working with Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate and an incredible defense. Diego Pavia is basically the only. I mean, he's not the only thing this Vanderbilt team has because for once they actually have weapons that you kind of fear. No, they have weapons you kind of fear. But this is 2 weeks in a row now that his defense has kind of just mailed it in. They're just that we're good. We're Diego, you got this. And he found a way. Almost 500 yards of total offense. 5 touchdowns, I believe. No, 4 touchdowns. He's must-see TV. Got a surprisingly scary Kentucky matchup upcoming this week. I don't know how much of that Kentucky performance was Florida's death by drowning, or is Kentucky actually trending? But yeah, I'm excited to watch them the rest of the year. Of course, we all know what's going down in Neyland in the last weekend of November, and then hate. Browns Jets. I think that's fair. Jets get their second win and they completely screw up controlling the number 1 pick. They have 2 special teams touchdowns. Justin Fields throws for like 12 yards outside of a Breece Hall 80-yard slip screen. It was Browns Jets. I mean, I know I can get on here and I just pick like either Titans, Jets, or Browns every week, but I mean, they're the one putting that product on the field. I'll leave the NFL team that I wanted to pick for Malcolm.
Thank you so much for that. My hate off of Rip is for the head coach of the team behind me, Raheem Morris. I wish he got stuck in Berlin. Honestly, like the coaching job at this point, y'all, is just it's beyond me. I absolutely despise this man as a coach. I would love to get a beer with him. I'd love to get a haircut with him. I'd love to smoke a cigar with him. He can
In the barbershop, baby.
He can no longer coach the Atlanta Falcons. It's malpractice at this point. Like I'm afraid we might lose a Drake London. It's just bad, guys. Like I don't know what more to say. So that's my super hate of the week. My love, I'm actually going to piggyback off of Drew, but I'm going to go the opposite direction. The loser of that game, a bona fide wide receiver by the name of Cam Coleman, 10 catches, 143 yards, 1 touchdown. He was the best player on that field in Nashville. And I feel genuinely bad for Auburn because they should have won that game. But to Drew's point, Diego Pavia right now is playing the best football, I think, in the country at the quarterback position. I write this guy off every single week, and all he does is like DoorDash, and that's deliver. So at this moment in time, man, Diego Pavia, while I love him to death, I'm giving my flowers to Cam Coleman because we saw a special performance out of number 8 in that Auburn orange and blue. So
All right, I'll take it now. From our love-hate for this weekend, I'll start with the hate. And for me, as I mentioned in the open, was going to expand upon my weekend a little bit in Chattanooga. I really hate sport tournaments at multiple sites that are more than 10 minutes away. It is awful. I love that, hey, like getting all these teams involved, but I've had conversations with many people about these youth sports and select softball and baseball tournaments and teams and things like that. It's just getting a little bit watered down. We have so many teams just to have people basically show up and play. And we kind of get lost with all the really good talent. And I went to the tournament this weekend, and there was one tournament that was mostly in like the Dalton area. Then there was another tournament in like Ottawa and Chattanooga, and it was like, I don't want to say it was impossible to go and see both sites in the same day, but dang, if you start in Chattanooga and you go all the way to Dalton, that's 35 45 minutes to get all the way out there. And then you want to drive back to Chattanooga or Ottawa, that's like another 30 minutes back and forth. And it was just crazy. So my hate from this weekend was having these multiple sites in different cities. Can we confine it to all like one complex, please and thank you, or at least a 10-minute radius outside of that, so it makes it a little easier as a recruiter to go see some of these games. So I did not like that this weekend. But what I did love this weekend, I saw this on Saturday as I was out and about recruiting and doing my thing. I know that Ole Miss played, the powerhouse that is the Citadel on late in the season here into November on the weekend, and absolutely skated by with that one. But I did see that there was a mid-game proposal that had happened on the field, and Lane Kiffin decided, hey, I'm going to go have a little fun with this. I'm going to, photo bomb. I'm going to give the groom to be a hug. And, it was kind of a cool moment. My question to you guys would be, knowing Lane Kiffin as a person, do you think he would have done that if that was like Ole Miss versus Alabama?
Probably not.
What's the score?
Yeah. See,
let's say it's a tight ball game still. I don't know. I just could see Lane doing something crazy like that.
I don't know, dude. I think it was matchup based. I mean, they were gonna beat the Citadel by 50 points,
of course,
no matter what. They could have run out the band members and beat the Citadel. So I mean,
You telling me Miggy on the mellophone could have went out there and beat the Citadel?
Heck, dude, I put Malcolm on the defensive line. I'd be scared to block him.
I'm giving work. They're gonna say, man, who's Aaron Donald out? Who is Aaron Donald out there with the bucket hat, man? To Drew's point, yeah, it's 100% score base. Have you seen Lane Kiffin coach these SEC games? This man is throwing up
he's a psycho.
clipboard. He's a psychopath. Like, there's no way. Yeah, and to Drew's point, they would have ran out the Citadel. I did a teaser this past weekend, and I teased it to 63 plus 63 for Citadel to cover, and they did. But 63 points. That's a lot of points, yo.
The line got down to plus 51.5. So I'm sure there were some people sitting there hands shaking, just praying that Lane Kiffin got another field goal in there. Can you imagine being that guy on the couch? Ole Miss minus 51.5.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Imagine being that guy on the couch under 44.5, Florida, Texas, or Florida, Kentucky. And Kentucky looks the best they've ever looked. And Florida's just walking it in. Like, listen.
I don't know if you guys talked about this based on that game. Is that just sort of like, hey, like Florida realizing our season's basically over, our head coach just got fired, we're not going to try. Is that sort of what it is, or is that maybe sort of more a testament to, hey, the fight that Billy Napier instilled in his guys all the way through? I know he got fired after a win, and it shouldn't have been as close as it was. But that game that we saw on Saturday shouldn't have been the way that it was against Kentucky, based on how the season's gone for both these teams.
Go ahead, Joseph.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you may take my point. Go ahead.
This game pissed me off so bad having under 44.5 and it hits 45 because, I mean, DJ Lagway got benched in this game for Trammell Jones. Like,
come on.
And deserved it. Like
he did. To me, dude, watching this game, watching Florida, this was So they were playing the Georgia game because it's big rivalry game, so it makes sense. They lost. Season's over. They're mailing it in. Like they're like, oh, coach is gone. I mean, you saw the injury report before the game, right?
20 players out.
Yeah, I'm not saying that all those guys weren't hurt because several of them have been on the injury report like for a few weeks, but I think some of them probably could have played. But you're playing Kentucky and you're 3-5 and your season's over. Your head coach is gone. Like that was Florida mailing it in. 100% Florida mailing it in.
Yeah. I think everything went wrong in that game too. I don't think they came out with the intention of mailing it in. But I mean, after a certain point, when you have 4 turnovers in the first half, yeah, you look around and your coach has been fired, and you were supposed to be competitive this year, and you're just not. And DJ Lagway looks like he's Sam Darnold on Monday Night Football 5 years ago, seeing ghosts. I don't know who he's throwing to this week. Like, I think it just became a snowball effect where they were like, all right, guys, let's just get out of here. So.
I guess he thought it was a home game, and he was throwing to the guys in blue. Maybe.
Heck, Cutter Bowley. All right, I'm sorry. Let's get to the fun. Sorry, we're not here to be depressed.
Nothing about that game was fun except for Kentucky fans. That game. Let's just move on.
Definitely not nice for Joseph. All right, let's fill in some blanks now, and we'll start with college football since we're kind of on that topic, anyways. So I'll throw out the first one. Let's talk about it. Talking about a blowout victory for Kentucky over Florida, let's talk about one of the ones that was a bit of a narrow victory this past weekend. The narrow victory for Indiana over Penn State made me feel blank about the Hoosiers.
I'll start, man.
Malcolm?
It made me feel insanely confident in the Hoosiers. And I'm going to say because they should have lost this game. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. The pick was thrown with 7-8 minutes left?
I think roughly, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean they were driving. It was a lot happened, and this team just fought. Like they took the identity. And this is blasphemous what I'm about to say, but it felt almost like those Alabama teams taking the identity of a Nick Saban. They just didn't quit. And they just made play after play. And I don't know if you guys heard the call, but what was it, Gus Johnson?
Yes.
I mean, it sent chills down my spine.
He's the best, dude. He's the best.
He's the definition of still having your fastball, dude. He's always got the fastball when he's got to pull it out.
Bro,
dude, I miss him in the NFL.
So good. It was such a good moment. And I mean, some would call it a Heisman moment. I don't know if I'm willing to do that quite yet, but it was awesome. So yeah, insanely confident is the word I'll use.
Looked it up. The interception, Fernando Mendoza threw the interception at 10:47 left in the fourth.
Okay.
Illinois is not Illinois.
Indiana.
Not Illinois.
It is definitely not Illinois. Indiana was losing or was winning 20-17 at the time. So Penn State went down and scored after the interception. But I mean, I'm kind of with Malcolm. The narrow victory for Indiana over Penn State made me feel better about the Hoosiers because this is what championship teams do, man. Like you go on the road against a team that, albeit is a better roster than you. Penn State is a better roster from a talent perspective. They're not a better team, and we've seen that over the course of the season, but that's a more talented roster. And for you to go on the road, play in a tough spot where they literally have nothing to play for other than that game, that day, and the chance to pull off the biggest upset of the season. Not from a point spread wise standpoint, but potentially the biggest upset of the season, and kind of wash away a little bit of them losing to UCLA. And you managed to find a way to win a game where Fernando Mendoza did not play well. So that tells me more about this Indiana team, that even when Fernando doesn't have his best game, even though he looked totally just elite of the elite quarterbacks in that last drive, Fernando pulled it all out for that. But the rest of the game, every other moment, every other drive, he just kind of looked worse than he has all season. For you to still be able to find a way to win that game, I think speaks a lot about the culture that Curt Cignetti has instilled and how close and tight-knit this team is. Not to mention, they also didn't have Elijah Surratt in this game. So not having your best receiver, your quarterback's not having the best game, Penn State's on fire for the first time all season, and you still manage to find a way to pull off probably the play of the year with Omar Cooper, the catch of the year with Omar Cooper, if we're talking about stakes, and get out of here with a win, man. I feel better about Indiana after this because we've seen so many teams that people have hyped up and we thought, oh, yeah, this is like a playoff contender, this is a national champion contender, and then they play somebody in a spot like this and they lose. And
Miami. Excuse me.
I didn't say any names. I did not say any names, but Drew's not wrong.
Drew?
Narrow victory for Indiana over Penn State made me feel no different. I mean, I kind of think it's Ohio State in the pack, and I think I was kind of waiting to see when we were going to get, I'm going to call it the Penn State punch, like basically throwing everything they had, like that they've got left to where this roster actually shines through. And it had to be at home. It had to be under the right scenario. It had to be against a team that wasn't Ohio State. Because, I mean, Ohio State is just, when you have an interim coach and you got Grunkmeyer back there, that they're just too much for you to handle. But I don't feel any different about Indiana. I think Joseph and Malcolm did a great job echoing it. Good teams do this. And I think Indiana is a very good team. I think they'll finish the season undefeated, go to the Big Ten championship. I don't know if they'll win that, but they're definitely going to the college football playoff.
The narrow victory for Indiana over Penn State made me feel a little bit uneasy. And I get exactly what you guys are talking about, having it feel no different. Got to learn how to win on the road, win a tough game when maybe you don't have your best day. They did all of that. The only reason this game made me feel a little uneasy is because we know what Penn State is at this point in the year. Obviously, Drew Aller's hurt. They're playing a younger quarterback. The passing attack hasn't been all that good. But for Indiana, what I want to see out of them is limiting the big play. And against an offense that generally doesn't create a lot of big plays, specifically through the air, Penn State had at least 4 different pass plays of 19-plus yards. And they also had the Nicholas Singleton run of 59 yards as well. He had 2 touchdowns in this game. So I really I'm a little nervous about Indiana giving up explosive plays. And again, especially if you play better competition as you get later into the season. I'm not talking about Wisconsin, who just beat Washington. I'm definitely not talking about Purdue as well. But as you get into the conference championship game, and then you get into the college football playoff, which they're going to as well, that's the only thing that makes me feel just a little uneasy. Exactly. Yeah. The dog gets it for sure.
Disappearance from Kirk. He's mad that I'm not playing with him. Yeah.
All right, let's go to the next one, boys. Sticking in the college football world. Joseph, I'll start with you on this one. The most toxic trait of top-ranked Ohio State is?
The most toxic trait. When you say toxic trait, do you mean like could lead to their downfall, or
yeah? What's their biggest flaw
like
right
a
now?
flaw, essentially.
Yeah.
Oh god, their schedule because we don't know how good they are. I mean, they look incredible, but I'm also getting senses of like Oregon last year where they're just going to wire to wire dominate this. I know they didn't like dominate Texas, but like getting that win at that point in the season, really good. I just don't know enough about this team because I don't know. I don't feel like they've been pushed, and I don't know if they haven't been pushed because of their schedule or because they're just that good. And if they're just that good, it doesn't matter because they're just going to probably do what they keep doing the rest of the season because I've seen flaws from every other team. I've seen areas that I'm like, hey, that could be exploited by a team. I haven't seen that from Ohio State, and I don't know if that's because they don't have it or if because they haven't played somebody that can exploit it. I'm leaning more towards they haven't played somebody that can exploit it. But again, that's not to take away from what they're doing because they are dominant. If I had to pick like a position group, maybe offensive line, let's go with that. I don't think their run game is as good as it was last year. But when you're throwing the ball to Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith and Brandon Ennis, does it really matter how good your run game is? When your defense is headed by Caleb Downs and could have probably already been starting in the NFL for like a year. Does it really matter? Like, are you going to give up more than 25 in a game? I don't know. It's hard to pick. It's hard to pick for me with this team because even though we've seen them play 9 games, I feel like I still don't know enough about Ohio State.
And is that
And
because they have a young
that's
quarterback?
I would say that, but when you've got 9 starts under your belt, I don't really give you the same sympathy of being a young quarterback. Like you've played most of the year. Like you're borderline like getting closer to being a second-year starter than you are a first-year starter at this point. So I wouldn't really say a young quarterback's their problem. Julian Sayin has looked incredible. I think was it the Purdue game or one of the past 2 games, he had more touchdowns than he did in completions. Again, he's throwing to 2 NFL wide receivers. So, like, how hard is it to get the ball to Jeremiah Smith and just let him go to work? But yeah, I would say their most toxic trait is probably just their schedule. It hasn't given me enough information about this team.
Drew?
Yeah, I'll echo. I don't have much to add. The most toxic trait of top-ranked Ohio State is that nobody watches their games. I don't know what goes on in those games. I see the replay on the post-game coverage of an SEC game, but nobody outside of Ohio State fans and the team that they're playing fans watches these games because it's not worth it. I think they are that good. So if we're talking like toxic trait, that's it. That Ohio State is that good that you don't even have to watch it because it's a foregone conclusion. So.
Are the teams that are playing Ohio State's fans even watching this game? Because, like,
I don't
if you're
know.
a Purdue fan, are you watching the Ohio State game?
I don't know.
Probably shouldn't.
I mean, I'm a Vanderbilt fan, and I watched us lose to ETSU live, so maybe
Okay,
I mean, I don't know.
You got to
maybe,
watch.
Yeah, I mean, maybe other fans, pain tolerance is a little bit lower than mine. I've gone numb after years of watching Arthur Blank's minions run out there, but that's all I got on Ohio State.
All right, for me, the most toxic trait of top-ranked Ohio State. I think Joseph touched on it just a little bit. I know you weren't super concerned about it with all the passing offense that they have, but to me, it might be their running attack. I know Bo Jackson is there only in name, not in likeness with the original Bo Jackson. He's having a nice year, but he's not overly explosive. And as you mentioned, Joseph, it's not the running backs that we've seen, especially last year for Ohio State between Jackson and Donaldson. Not quite the same. And the other toxic trait is they've still got to play Michigan this year. And, anything can happen when it comes to Big Blue. And obviously it's going to be in Ann Arbor as well. So that's going to be interesting. So to me, those are the toxic traits of Ohio State. What do you say, Mig?
That was going to be mine. Is that November
Sorry,
29th? It's all right. It's all good. November 29th is still on the schedule. And there's 5-year-olds in this world right now that don't know what it's like for Ohio State to beat Michigan. Just being honest. And listen, I'm not trying to get some Ohio State faithful rattled, but it's all mental at this point. If you lose this game, you seriously have to think about contemplating firing Ryan Day. And I'm so serious. I'm so serious.
Please don't.
I'm so serious.
Don't do that.
If you lose this game, listen, bro, it's about winning national championships. That is the goal. It has happened.
And he's good at that.
1A is beating Michigan, and he doesn't do that. That is a job requirement. That's like showing up for work. For Ohio State fans, is that not true? Is that not true? Is that not a requirement of the job?
We do have a video out there. We do have a TikTok video out there that does like all the comments under it, or they do say that, sure. But I mean, do you think any Ohio State fan is like, man, dude, we should just give that natty away because we didn't beat Michigan? Maybe there are some out there that feel that way,
No way.
But I think it softens the blow now. That seriously, like if you lose to Michigan, that is a far less superior talented team than you. With the coaches that are going to potentially be available, the plug and play that you can have, you realistically think Lane Kiffin wouldn't go to Ohio State?
I listen. I, in good faith, cannot tell you to fire Ryan Day coming off of a national championship because he couldn't beat Michigan. I just can't do it. And I speak as someone who it in no means is it the same rivalry, but is in a very similar boat with Kirby and his Alabama problem. Like, he could beat everybody else, can't beat Bama. He still won national championships. Like, I'll take that. And I think Ohio State fans, it sucks, dude. It sucks that you had beaten Michigan in 4 years. But you won a natty last year. You have a damn good chance to win another one this year. If you lose to Michigan again this year, it sucks. It sucks. Probably, I don't know if it sucks worse than it did last year because Michigan was just basically like Navy last year.
Awful.
They were not throwing the ball.
Butt cheeks.
I mean, that's last year. This is this year. You're still in the playoffs. I mean, as long as you don't end up playing Michigan for a national championship, I think you'll be okay. So I don't know. It sucks. I'm not telling you it's okay that he's losing to Michigan, but I'm also telling you that even if he does lose to Michigan for the 5th year in a row, please do not fire Ryan Day. That is not the solution to your problem.
There are a lot of teams out there in this country that would love if Ohio State fired Ryan Day.
Yeah.
Win the big game. That's all I have to say.
He did. He won the big game.
He won the biggest game.
He won the biggest game.
Oh, that's the biggest game. Win the big game.
Win the game.
How about always losing to Michigan in the regular season, and then just like kind of you mentioned, Joseph, with that rivalry between Georgia and Alabama, as you mentioned, not quite the same level, but when you did beat Alabama, you got them in the national championship game. So that makes it a little sweeter for Kirby.
We got the one, man.
You got the one. That's the
biggest one. It's the same. Ohio State fans are like, yeah, we couldn't get Michigan last year, but we got a natty. So, I mean, I don't know. Complain about winning a national championship.
I know how crazy I sound. Like, I get it, guys.
No, here's the thing, though, is like you say like, I know how crazy I sound, but the most infuriating part is if they lose to Ohio State again this year, there are Ohio State fans that are in your corner.
Yeah.
Just like last year. He lost to Michigan again, and they're like, we should get rid of him. I'm like, dude, this guy has like a 90% win percentage.
For sure.
I just can't fathom firing a coach that wins that many games. And ultimately, he secured his job by winning a national championship. But
Definitely,
you would think,
anyways.
Not according to Malcolm.
Yeah, he's not alone in that sentiment. If they lose to Michigan again this year, brother, it's gonna get weird.
All right, let's roll on with fill in the blank. The next one, and Drew, I'm going to go to you on this one. The fact that it seems like Georgia's defense only shows up when it absolutely has to is blank.
Encouraging. And here's why. Every single time this Georgia team has had to answer a bell against a team that does not wear a script A on their uniform, they have. And they just keep doing it. They just keep showing up. Ole Miss game, I thought they were done. I didn't think they were ever going to get a stop, but they did. And you know what it takes in the playoffs? You know what it takes in the SEC championship? It takes stops like that. So the fact that this team has experience, the fact that this team shows up. Now, it may not be good for fans like Joseph. Like Joseph we may not have him by the end of the college football year. Like we may be doing like an in memoriam thing for him, passed away from a heart attack, but
giving a eulogy.
Yeah, I mean, hey, but that's views. I mean, we'll farm that engagement all the live long day.
Oh yeah, use me for the engagement.
Absolutely,
bro.
yeah. So I mean, kind of a win. Yeah, kind of a win-win there. But yeah, it may not seem like it, but it is encouraging, and the fact because there's teams out there right now that haven't had to do what Georgia's had to do yet, and you have question marks about them because they don't have the experience that this Georgia team has had in the regular season. They still have Kirby Smart on the sideline. It's encouraging.
So to me, the fact that it seems like Georgia's defense only shows up when it absolutely has to is not a concern to me. Kind of going off of what you just said, Drew. Look, Kirby's been there. He's done that. And outside of the script day, it's worked just about every other time. So I'm not concerned with Georgia and with Kirby and this defense. At the end of the day, they get the job done and they do what has to be done. And until they don't, I'm not concerned with Georgia because they're just that damn good. And we'll see how good this defense is against Texas and whatnot. And they, obviously, luckily have this game at home between the hedges. I'm going to just go out there and say it. I believe they will win this game. But yeah, to me, it's not concerning. What say you, Malcolm?
It is Cinderella-esque because that clock is going to strike midnight eventually. It's gonna happen. Not sure when. It's happened to some degree against Alabama, but whether it's Texas, whether it's Georgia Tech, whether it's a possible SEC championship game, that clock is going to strike because Georgia, outside of honestly this past weekend, the Mississippi State game, that was their first complete game I think they've played. I have not seen a running back from Georgia look like Nate Frazier. Probably, and Joseph, correct me if I'm wrong. What's the last just premier running back you've seen in a Georgia uniform?
Like probably Chubb. Probably Nick
Yeah,
Chubb.
yeah.
I mean, I
like,
love DeAndre Swift, but
it was one of those performances. Though it's like, okay, like Georgia's finally got like a running back. Like this is nice. So we'll see, but it's Cinderella-esque because I don't know. I'd stop playing with fire if I was Kirby and the boys.
Joseph?
terrifying. it's Georgia's defense only shows up when it absolutely has to is terrifying. Because like Malcolm said, and it was literally the phrase I was going to go with, you play with fire, eventually you're going to get burned. And it happened in the Alabama game. Now, I will say, from an offensive perspective, I think Gunner has come a long way, that being the fourth game of the season, the Alabama game, what I'm referencing, and where they are now, watching his progression over the year as a quarterback, I think helps because it makes me feel better about the offense. And I think if there is a side of the ball that I'm like, okay, they've got to get it right, I feel like the defense is the one that they will eventually piece together and get it right. But it's terrifying, man. It's not fun to watch your team go in a hole because eventually somebody's going to be able to not let you dig out of that hole. And we saw it against Alabama. I have a strange sneaking suspicion that if it happens again this year and they get in a hole like that, there will be a team that they play that will keep them in that hole. So it's terrifying for me personally. And I'll 100% tell you that's like a fan take because it kind of is. I don't know. It's weird to watch Georgia teams play score races like they did against Ole Miss. Like that's a weird feeling. So I don't know how many times they can do it in a row. I know they didn't have to do it against Mississippi State. Obviously, the challenge this week against Texas is much different. It's a much better defense. But I would say I wouldn't necessarily go as far to say that it's a much better offense from what I've seen from Texas versus what you played last week as Mississippi State. So maybe you'll have a chance to show up from the time the game starts. But we'll see. We got 6 days until Texas comes to town.
Yes, we do. Can't wait to see that matchup. That's going to be a fun one this weekend for sure. And as we've talked about on this show before and on this platform before, Joseph, you and I watched that game together last year, and I know the wave of emotions that you went through. So I can only imagine what you're going to go through in the confines of your own home with family, friends, other Georgia fans as well. It's going to be you probably let a little bit more loose than you did surrounded by a bunch of strangers at a bar.
I mean, no one gets the me watching a game by myself version. That's just no one needs to see that. Okay. Like whenever I'm around people, I try to rein it in a little bit. But me watching a game alone, totally different experience.
I think we need to, what would be a cool experience for that game is to do maybe like an Instagram live or like go live during that game while you're just watching that game by yourself and just let the world see unfiltered Joseph watching that game, just taking it in.
No one needs to see that.
I think the fans would love that, much like a memorial for you. In memoriam, like we need to see Joseph live react to a big Georgia football game.
Maybe. Maybe. We'll see.
I know how I look, and I'm just a Vanderbilt fan. I don't know if I want to see an actual. I don't know if I want to see a team with prestige and history. I don't know about that.
Again, anything for the views, anything for the content. Let's go. All right. The last one on college football. end it with the Heisman Trophy. Blank will win the Heisman Trophy. I will kick this one off. Drew, I am so sorry. The low-hanging fruit would be Fernando Mendoza. There's some other guys that you can say, Julian saying, obviously, with Ohio State. But honestly, I got to go with your guy, Diego Pavia. After the performance that he put up this past weekend, basically putting the Vanderbilt Commodores on his back and said, jump on, boys, I got you. The man's over 2,400 yards passing. He's responsible for a bunch of touchdowns this year, 21 through the air and 7 on the ground. He is Vanderbilt's not only leading passer, but leading rusher as well. Just 5 INTs, 70% completion percentage. He is literally the definition of the Magic Man. And I don't care if this is his Van Wilder 7th, 8th year in college sports and college athletics. He is incredible to watch. He is box office. And he's got this Vanderbilt Commodores team playing really good football. They're 8-2 right now. I am excited to see what they're going to do down the stretch. And, you know, look, they got the powerhouse that is the Kentucky Wildcats this weekend at home. Nashville's going to be rocking. And then the final week of the year, you got to go to Rocky Top. And again, that atmosphere is going to be electric. They said it at the beginning of the year. This is why I picked this game as a potential game of the year candidate, because Vanderbilt is the little brother of Tennessee, and they would love nothing more to go into Rocky Top and basically kick Tennessee's ass and walk out of there with potentially a playoff bid after winning that game. So I got to go with your boy Diego Pavia in this one. Malcolm?
So I'm looking at this, and I like that Pavia pick. I really do. Have you guys ever felt love before?
I have, yes.
Well,
Much
it's
like
a
the love
beautiful.
that I have for you.
I love you more, and it's a beautiful feeling. Love is, but Pitt is not going to get the love that we felt. They are going to get love. Jeremiah Love, my Heisman Trophy winner, that's absolutely going to run through them. I think Jeremiah Love is going to snatch this Heisman Trophy, and I'm going to tell you guys why. In the last 3 games, you have at Pitt, Syracuse, and at Stanford. If he has a career day like he had a couple of weeks ago against Boston College, I just don't think all of these quarterbacks are kind of like even keel. Like there's really no difference between Julian Sand, Mendoza. I mean, if you were to go with any of them, it would be Pavia. But then if you make an excuse for Pavia, why not Ty Simpson? I just think that it's a different thing, and I think that with the second best running back, Ashton Genty last year to Dylan Sampson, I think a running back should be in the conversation. So give me Jeremiah Love. And I was definitely trolling just now.
Joseph?
I love that pick because I think Jeremiah Love is actually very deserving, because I think he's probably one of the only reasons that Notre Dame's doesn't have a few more losses.
For sure.
I know CJ Carr's improved, but gentlemen, Ty Simpson's going to win the Heisman Trophy. And I'll tell you why. Okay. The Heisman Trophy is given away on December 13th. You know what follows, or you know what predates the Heisman Trophy presentation?
What's that, bro?
Conference Championship Week.
Mm.
Okay. You know who plays in Conference Championship Week?
Who?
I'll tell you. It's probably going to be Indiana and Ohio State. Maybe. But if it's not, then it's probably Indiana and Michigan. And if it's Indiana and Michigan, that means Julian Sayin absolutely probably stunk it up against Michigan. So he's out.
Okay.
If it's Indiana and Michigan, that means that Michigan defense was good enough to shut down Ohio State's offense. They're probably going to do the same thing to Fernando Mendoza. That boy's out. If Ohio State does manage to win that game, Fernando Mendoza is probably not going to have his best game against Ohio State. That's going to eliminate him. But you know who plays on that Saturday? The Alabama Crimson Tide. Because they're probably going to beat Oklahoma this weekend. And then they'll probably play Texas A&M. And if they want to beat Texas A&M, it's going to take an otherworldly performance from Ty Simpson, because they cannot run the ball. And you know who can run the ball? The Texas A&M Aggies. Yeah. And I think Ty Simpson's going to deliver. He's been ice cold all year. He's been absolutely stone cold killer all year. And when he does it in Atlanta against the Texas A&M Aggies, they're going to hand him the Heisman Trophy the following weekend. Give me Ty Simpson.
Jeez.
Ty Simpson. Drew, what say you, dog?
I'll go Pavia. Just because I don't want to be on that. I mean,
Nobody's big Fernando Mendoza. He's like the favorite.
Listen. Whoa. Listen, I don't want to be on a. I don't want to be on a podcast picking anybody else than Pavia after watching him this weekend, because on the plane of existence and talent, Diego Pavia is so far above all of these guys except for Ty Simpson and Marcel Reed. I'm not kidding. The way that he makes things happen with what he's working with and the team that he's got, it's not close. But if I had to pick another one, because I guess the Texas loss was that bad, I guess we just can't have nice things because we lost to the preseason #1 team. I guess Diego Pavia can't win it now. If I had to pick one, I'll take Julian Sand, because I think they're going to beat Michigan. I think he's going to be good in that Michigan game. I actually don't think that Michigan game is going to be very close. I think Ryan Day is going to have those boys ready to go. And then exactly what you said, Joseph, Julian Sand will outduel Mendoza in the conference championship, and he'll have it locked up by then. They're not going to give it to Marcel Reed. Ty Simpson, I don't know. After watching that LSU game, I don't think Ty Simpson should be anywhere near the Heisman conversation. But my official pick is Diego Pavia.
Can't go wrong with Pavia. I'm with you on that one, Drew. All right, let's move on to the National Football League. Filling in blanks here on Chatt It Up Sports. Okay, so the team that has been the biggest disappointment in the NFL is Malcolm.
I don't want to go first. The team that has been the biggest disappointment.
Go ahead, Jay. You can take it.
Yeah, take it, Jay.
Because I probably got the least to say about this. I don't mean this to be a targeted pick, but it is the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, I really think it is. You killed it in the draft this year.
Did they?
Well, I think you did well in the draft this year.
Yeah, we just got rid of a first round. We were so confident. We just got rid of that first round pick next year. We didn't even need it. We were so confident in James Pierce, who has like 2 sacks or something.
Terrible.
Heck yeah.
Hey, no love for my boy Jalen Walker.
Jalen Walker's awesome.
Xavier Watts has been
he's fine. But we're talking about James Pierce Jr. has been a goat.
That's one pick out of like multiple.
But you traded to get that pick. That's a disappointment.
Xavier Watts has quite a long way to come. I don't know. I know. Yeah. Keep going.
Anyways, you put all this hope in Michael Penix Jr. after you drafted him. You decided to bench Kirko Chains, and you're playing in a division that, for all intents and purposes, was supposed to be completely dead in the New Orleans Saints. We didn't know what Carolina was going to be. Turns out they're pretty damn good with Bryce Young and Rico Dowdle, even though I know they did lose to the Saints. And then the Tampa Bay Bucks, who, dear God, are rolling out hospital beds every other weekend now. It's just disappointing that the Falcons, who seem like they don't have the injury luck of the Bucks, they had a better draft than the Panthers, and they're not in cap hell like the Saints, and they can't put it together well enough to win this division that's just in shambles. I think that's just an incredible disappointment. So
it's great. It's a great call.
I'm going with the Atlanta Falcons.
It's a great pick.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to just like.
No, I would have picked them if they had gotten to me.
I will give a runner up because yes, that is a great pick behind me. The Baltimore Ravens, man. Just that team was supposed to be so good. I mean, that defense. I drafted that defense in my fantasy league in like the 5th round because I just thought they were going to be nasty, right? You got Nate Wiggins, you got Marlon Humphreys, you got the best cornerback in football, Jair Alexander. Ooh, trash. Your boy's sorry.
He didn't even make the trip to Green Bay.
Sorry. It's just not it, man. And then Lamar obviously getting hurt. So yeah, Baltimore Ravens have been the biggest disappointment in football, but I think they're riding the ship as well.
You want me to go, Greg?
Joseph, go ahead. Drew, go ahead. I'll follow that up.
Yeah, it's absolutely the team formerly known as the Oakland Raiders. Unequivocally, if it's not the Atlanta Falcons, it is the Oakland Raiders, because the Ravens at least have sort of an excuse, right? Lamar gets hurt. They had some bad injury luck around the defense, just around the whole team, really. So the the Raiders, Brock Bowers has been banged up, sure, but Geno Smith isn't capable of getting him the ball outside of the game 2 weeks ago. So this was a team that a lot of people were picking as like a fringe playoff contender. They're supposed to be turning around the culture here. They trade a 3rd-round pick for Geno Smith. I'm pretty sure they gave him an extension, if memory serves correctly. They draft Ashton Genty super high, the highest running back's been taken in a long time besides Bijan Robinson. And they suck. They're horrific. I mean, they beat I don't know how the heck they beat the Patriots. I didn't watch that game week 1. But outside of that, there's no bright spots on this Raiders team. Bowers has been banged up and he hasn't gotten the ball. Jacoby Myers got traded. That he was supposed to be their wide receiver number 1, and he's like Trey Tucker is running circles around him. There's nothing to be excited about on this team. Max Crosby seems to love being an LA Raider, but I mean, good for him. I mean, everybody's got their thing, but at a certain point, maybe he wants to win something. I don't know, but it's the LA Raiders.
All right, for me, I'll finish things up. I'm going to take the Miami Dolphins. And I get it. Look, guys, they just came off that improbable win against the Buffalo Bills. Again, I get it. But in totality, it's been a huge disappointment for the Miami Dolphins. Obviously, you've got Tyreek Hill hurt. Tua has been ineffective. Devon Achane is awesome. Waddles is actually having a really good year. Defense has been a little disappointing in general. Offensive line can't keep Tua safe in this part of his career as well. So with all of the explosiveness and all of the playmakers that they have and the names on this team, it's really just disappointing that they are currently 3-7. Again, despite the win against the Buffalo Bills, they find ways to lose games all of the time. And again, it was incredibly improbable that they not only beat the Bills, but kicked their ass, honestly. So I'm going to go with the Miami Dolphins, even despite their win over the Buffalo Bills.
Solid.
All right, the next NFL one we're going to go to is the most underrated team in the NFL is Malcolm. Do you want to take this one first?
I can definitely take this.
Go ahead, bet.
The first one, it's. I mean, I don't even know if they're underrated at this point, but give me the LA Rams. I just think this team is so sneaky and so good. Defensively, they're playing just the right amount of football. Ball for life. Byron Young is in the top 5 in sacks. That's my guy. And then a guy we'll talk about in a second. They got some quality quarterbacking, and I'll just leave it at that.
Joseph?
I'm sorry, Joseph. Yeah, my fault.
I got you're good. You're good. Oh man, I don't mean to take a shot at Chase here, but I'm going to go with the New England Patriots.
Yeah.
And what Mike Vrabel's been able to do there. I mean, they've ripped off 6 wins in a row. I know they haven't exactly had world beaters on their schedule, but they beat the Bills, they beat the Falcons, they just beat the Bucks. Drake Mays looked awesome. Yeah, like I know they're sitting at 8-2. It doesn't feel like they're this good, but they have been. And I don't think they've been shown the love that other 8-2 teams during the NFL season have been shown. I think they have the same record as the Colts right now.
Yep.
And I think people were vastly different talk about the Colts versus the Patriots. I know it's probably Patriots fatigue for the years of Tom Brady, and nobody wants to even reminisce on the fact that they could potentially be good again. Everybody just wants to push that to the side. And maybe if we just out of sight, out of mind, it's not real and the Patriots aren't actually good. But I think they are. And I think Drake May's been a hit. And I think he's good with Stephon Diggs. And this defense is solid. So I'm gonna go with the Patriots as the most underrated team in the NFL right now.
Damn, Joseph, you stole my thunder. I was going to go with the Patriots as well. Obviously, it's all Mike Vrabel there with the Patriots. He's done an incredible job from what Jerome Mayo had done there with the Pats in the past. Over last year, Drake May has taken incredible leaps and bounds. TreVeyon Henderson finally found a way to be effective in that game over the weekend. Oh, this is a difficult decision trying to figure out who is the most underrated team as it sits right now. I know, Miggy, he had a good one with the Rams.
This should be easy for you, Greg.
The most underrated team. Why should this be easy? What do you think?
There's a glaring team that we have not even said yet. I'm shocked you didn't jump all over it.
Really?
Yeah.
What are you thinking? I don't see a glaring team out there that is an underrated team.
It's the team in the NFC West. It's Seattle Seahawks, man.
That's where I was thinking. I was thinking the Seattle Seahawks because they have one of the best defenses in the National Football League. I think everybody just gets scared about Sam Darnold being the starting quarterback. And yeah, he has some games where he's not incredible, but he's also shown, hey, I can be effective like I was with KOC in Minnesota. And then you've got what could very well be the best wide receiver in the National Football League. He is on pace to beat Calvin Johnson's record of receiving yards as well, just shy of 2,000. So, just they've been incredible this year. That could be very well. That'd probably be my third pick, honestly, for most underrated team. But again, a team at the top of the division. I kind of expected them to be pretty good this year. I don't know how good Sam Darnold would be, but again, coming off of what some would call, sort of an MVP type of season last year with the Vikings, I'll go with the Seattle Seahawks then.
Solid.
Pack attack. Let me tell you, I think this team is underrated for the simple fact of they have lost to and let me make sure I'm not saying something that didn't happen yet. They've lost to the Browns and the Panthers. And I think that's kind of thrown everybody off the scent. I'm interested to see what happens tonight. As of recording, we're recording about 50 minutes before game time. I do think they're going to beat the crap out of the Eagles tonight. I'm sorry, Greg. I know you probably don't want to hear the fan jinx, all that.
I do want to hear that. No, I don't care. I'm happy. Everybody I've listened to today has talked about how they are not going to win this game.
Look, they've had some early season struggles. They're looking to put it all together, and I think tonight is a game that you put it all together in prime time. And the Eagles, they're so comfortable in that division that they have no chance of losing it. I think this is one that they drop, and I think the Packers are not properly rated. I think they're actually a lot better than the losses to the Panthers and the Browns and the Tide. I think they should be 8-0. I mean, that's just me. But, yeah, Packers would be my pick for underrated.
All right, let's go to the next one. My vote for MVP right now is Drew. You want to take this one?
Yeah, sure.
Jump in there first.
My vote for MVP right now is Jonathan Taylor. What are we talking about? I know he's not going to win it. I get that. I know a running back is not allowed to win this award, but he's got 5 games with 3+ touchdowns. It's not even. It's Jonathan Taylor, and it's not close. Daniel Jones has started to look a little bit more like the Daniel Jones of old in the past couple weeks. I mean, not as bad as he was in New York. I don't think that's even possible on this Colts team. But Jonathan Taylor continues to run over teams and is the main reason each week that the Colts continue to win ball games. And this is most valuable. I mean, this is not best quarterback, which is what we try to do with this award every year. So, I mean, Josh Allen had his chance to grab it after he beat Mahomes. So, I mean, I haven't seen a quarterback this year that I would feel confident in saying, no, you're the reason that your team is having this success. I don't see it with a guy like Jared Goff or your guy Jordan Love. I don't see it with Jalen Hurts. Baker had some early season movement. I mean, to be honest with you, the closest that I see is Sam Darnold, and he's not going to win it because his defense is so damn good. So, I mean, Jonathan Taylor is absolutely my pick and will continue to be my pick until he puts up a couple stinkers in a row.
Can I follow that up?
Joseph, go ahead, Joseph.
Do you mind if I follow it up? Because you mentioned you went through a rattle list of quarterbacks there, and I was waiting for you to name the one that I had in mind, and you didn't. Boys, it's Matt Stafford. This man's been absolutely electric this year. He has been balling. 67% completion percentage, 25-2 touchdown to interception ratio. He's on pace for his lowest number of interceptions since in Detroit in 2019, he played 8 games. He threw 5 interceptions, but he only played 8 games. He's already played 9 games, and he's only at 2 interceptions. And I know he has good weapons. I get it. Kyron Williams, Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams. But, dude, that man has been dealing this year. And, by the way, boys, shout out to my boy because he is finally at a 500 record in the NFL after his win on Sunday. After all the just years of pain in Detroit.
That's unbelievable.
Wow.
It's wild, isn't it?
Yeah.
Matthew Stafford just now got to a 500 win ratio in the NFL. But anyways, I get it. I understand the numbers of Jonathan Taylor, and I wouldn't push back on that. I would not tell you you're wrong. He has been otherworldly, 240 yards rushing on Sunday, but Matt Stafford's been electric. He's been dealing the ball, and I would go with my MVP right now is Matt Stafford.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just at the point, what does it take for another position to win this award? Because if it's not this Jonathan Taylor, like Saquon was awesome last year, and Jonathan Taylor is making his season look pretty weak in comparison to what he's done up to this point. Well, so, I mean, what does it take for another position to win this award?
I think the biggest thing when it comes to Saquon is that he played on a team that had an incredible amount of weapons. You know, obviously Jalen Hurts, you think what you think about him. He's a winner. He's a good quarterback, not an elite quarterback. They've got Devonta Smith. They had that defense, the offensive line, all of that. I think you're spot on, Drew, and I don't like to agree when we do these fill-in-the-blank things, but I can't go any other way than Jonathan Taylor right now. You mentioned that the 3 games with 3+ touchdowns?
5
games with 3+ touchdowns. 5. In 10 games, he's already over 1,100 yards rushing. He's got 15 touchdowns on the year. Like, do you think Daniel Jones would be having the season he's had if it weren't for a guy like Jonathan Taylor? The reason why Daniel Jones is having the success that he's having is because they've been so successful running the football. You've got to respect that run. They still can't stop Jonathan Taylor. And then Danny Dimes is doing what he can do with the weapons that are around him because the play action works so well because you have Jonathan Taylor in the backfield.
Thus far, speaking about Jonathan Taylor, thus far in his career in the NFL, this is his highest average per carry year, and he's we're only 10 games into the season, but every other year he's been under 6 yards. His highest was 2021 at 5.5. He played all 17 games in 2021. This year he's played 10 and he's averaging 6 yards a carry. That's just nuts.
That's MVP to me, dude. That's it's a shame that Jonathan Taylor literally has to run for 200 yards every week to get the MVP. I mean, that's what it's going to take.
He's also his highest touchdowns in a year came in 2021 was his like banner year thus far. Sure. 1,800 yards, 5.5 yards a carry, 18 touchdowns. He's already at 15 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And they've only played 10 games.
I think that's just rushing too, right?
I believe so. I think, yeah, it is just rushing. Because receiving, he has 2 touchdowns in 2025, but 15 rushing. One of those being an 83-yard and just nuts.
Yeah.
Insane statistics.
Malcolm?
Yeah, man. I'm going to keep it short and sweet and use the F-bomb. Give Jonathan Taylor his fucking trophy. That's all we need to talk about. Like, I love Matt Stafford. He is my fantasy quarterback. The season has been off the chain. JT, this brother is special, man. Give him his trophy.
All right, the next one and the last one we're going to do for the National Football League. The best coach this year so far is?
I'm going to pick this one up, too, and go back to back. He was just fired today. Brian Daboll. I hate what the Giants just did to my man.
He's the really best coach?
To me, and what he has been given that his wide receiver 1 tore his ACL, his running back 1 completely cracked his leg open, that his ankle was one way and his leg was the other way. And his quarterback has been in concussion protocol for 4 of his 6 starts. Yeah, I think he did a hell of a job. And I think he got a real shaft today.
What about everything? What about everything that happened before that?
Daniel Jones is Daniel Jones, bro.
They fumbled him. They've even come out publicly and said, "Hey, like we fumbled Daniel Jones's development. Like we didn't treat Daniel Jones well."
Well, it sure worked out for Jackson. So I support Brian Daboll. He's going to make a hell of a coach.
He's going to make a hell of an OC somewhere.
I think coach. I think a Vrabel type arc is going to happen for this guy.
Well, speaking of Vrabel, to me, I'll take Vrabel, the best coach in the National Football League. He's doing the best job right now with the team that he has, because coming from where they came from last year and to turn them around this quickly, I know that you've got Drake May there, but being able to allow him to flourish and putting people in place to allow him to flourish, Mike Vrabel, to me, Titans should have never let him go. Sorry, Chase. To me, it's Mike Vrabel.
Yeah, that's a good one. It's Raheem Morris. He's inflappable. Like you pan on the sideline.
Oh shit!
Yeah, you pan on the sideline, dude. Like, it doesn't matter if they just run for an 80-yard touchdown or somebody snapped their leg in half. He looks the exact same every time the camera's on him. So, I mean, what a leader of men. He says the exact same thing in every press conference. We really fought out there today, but unfortunately, we lost to the Panthers. So, give me Raheem Morris.
Oh my God.
You're funny, dog.
Okay, I'll keep this short and sweet. I think it's Mike McDonald for the Seattle Seahawks. He's you talked about it earlier, Greg. That defense is absolutely nuts. He's a defensive minded coach. What they've been doing to teams is kind of nuts. They're also kind of flying under the radar at 7-2 because people will get scared of Sam Darnold, but that defense is legitimate. So I'll go with Mike McDonald.
All right, let's roll into the National Basketball Association. And with that, we're going to say goodbye to Joseph because he will not be participating in the NBA portion.
Taking my straight producer role, boys. Y'all enjoy. Loving the NBA, trying to get there.
It's a work in progress. It is a work in progress. So Drew, Miggy, and myself will handle this one. I'm going to go first on this one. The first one up here, the blank should trade for Zion Williamson because the Pelicans are an absolute mess right now. This one might be a little off the wall, but if there is an organization and there is a team that might be able to get Zion's head on straight and him going in the right direction that has sort of that winning pedigree, I'm going to say the Boston Celtics. Is crazy as that could potentially sound. You're without Jason Tatum right now. And if Zion can get his head on straight and his act right and stop beating all the king cake and all that good stuff and slim and trim and not hurt himself and injure himself. Look, I feel like the Celtics have lost a lot from last year to this year, and they could use some reinforcements. They've got Josh Minois starting at the power forward position. Look, I don't follow the Boston Celtics all that closely. I'm a big Knicks fan. I don't even know who that man is. So give me Zion Williamson going to the Boston Celtics and helping Jalen, giving Derek White and Jaylen Brown a little bit of help, please.
Yeah, man. I think this brother needs to get traded to the Guangdong Southern Tigers, man. For sure. Buddy needs to be up out of here. Like, I'm so sick of Zion. I have Zion fatigue. Honestly, man, trade him to whoever. I'll just say the Boston Celtics, but like, I am infuriated. The guy that we're about to talk about is Guns is associated with him. They call him Zion, and I'll just say Ja Morant. Zion and Ja is buns and guns because one is addicted to buns and the other is addicted to guns. All right, so put Guns in Guangdong, China, so he can just develop his game. Because I'm sick.
Are we talking like honey buns or like Mariah Milk?
I'm talking Mariah Milk buns, bro. And he's probably had a few honey buns too. Buns on buns.
Yeah.
Buns squared. Drew, what do you say, brother?
All right. Well, first off, nobody should trade for Zion because Zion's in the best shape he's been in since his rookie year. He looks physically the best he's been in since his rookie year. And he still can't stay healthy. I think he's in like day 7 of being out 7 to 10 days. So, but if I had to pick a team, I'd put him on the Miami Heat. You're right. It's going to take that organizational structure. I don't want him anywhere near the Boston Celtics. And Josh Minot's he's been fun. I mean, like you're right. The Celtics aren't great this year. They had to trade. We lost our entire supporting cast, but through trades and injuries. But if the Pelicans are looking to do just the hard reset, or I mean, getting Hero for Zion is not nothing, and then you can let Jordan Poole go. You might be able to move Jordan Poole's contract. If you're really just dedicated to the idea of moving Zion, then you've got to get something of value back, and the team that takes him has to be able to think that they're going to be able to keep Zion on the straight and narrow, and that they're going to be able to keep him in shape time after time. So I'd take the Heat. I don't think anybody should trade for the guy. I just, you're supposed to be the savior, and your team has beaten the Hornets and Mavericks. And by the way, that was without you. They didn't win a game when you were healthy. So whatever. Whoever wants him, the Zion fire sale, the Zion flea market can have him.
All right, the next one, we're going to talk about that man who is addicted to the guns. Ja Morant should be traded to the blank.
He should be traded to the Utah Jazz. I want him to go to the most boring city imaginable. I want it to be where he drives through Zaxby's. That's his entertainment for the evening. I want him to think about nothing but basketball.
You think they got Zaxby's in Salt Lake City?
I don't even know, brother. Chick-fil-A, I whatever. I just don't.
At least
I don't want him to be anywhere near Miami, in Atlanta, Toronto. Like really, the same thing that's happening with Anthony Edwards in Minnesota. Anthony Edwards would be out of the league if he was in Atlanta, Georgia, right now. There's just no possible way. So put him in a boring city and let him just hoop. That's what needs to happen.
Drew?
Whatever. Yeah, you guys, either one.
Personally, in an ideal world, I'd send him to Golden State. They need it. I mean, in an ideal world, I know that would never happen, but in an ideal world, I mean, the Warriors are looking for a post-Curry plan, and I've personally seen enough of Brandon Podziemski this year to say, yeah, we're good. You're not going to be the post-Steph era solution. He's going to be a nice role player, but they're looking for somebody. And so, like we just talked about with Zion, I don't know what more Ja Morant needs. He has a shoe deal. He's incredibly important to Memphis. He's the biggest star that Memphis can hope for. Whatever. That's well documented. But I mean, he needs to go somewhere where he's going to feel like a big deal. He's going to feel important. He's going to feel like he's still a star. And if you just give him to like the Wizards or the Heat or the Hornets, I mean, we're just going to be back in the same scenario. So in an ideal world, I'd send him to the Warriors. They have some contracts they can piece together. There's not really a Ja Morant trade market. It's yeah.
There really isn't. And I was thinking the Miami Heat for the reasons that you mentioned, Drew, with the culture and things like that for Zion. But yeah, it's I'm gonna say, Miggy, you mentioned getting him to a very boring place in the States. Why don't we just get him out of the States altogether? Can we just ship him to Canada and let him hang out in Toronto?
Not a bad idea. Not a terrible. I like that.
Not a terrible idea at all, bro. That is not a bad idea. But like, I think Toronto is even a city that you could get into a lot of stuff.
I know you could get into trouble, and that's what I was thinking. But I'm thinking maybe from like a fit perspective as well. Look, we tried Emmanuel quickly out there, and he's not bad, but like there's talent in Toronto, and you put Ja with BI and RJ Barrett and Scotty Barnes, like we might actually have something again in Toronto. He's much better than Emmanuel Quickly.
They can
and Toronto can shed that Quickly contract, and they can also they have young guys that haven't particularly panned out like a Grady Dick that they can throw in, and they also have a lot of picks as well still. I mean, I think that's a fantastic landing spot with him. It's just I don't think Toronto's an organization that would ever take a risk on a guy like Ja. But I think in it making sense for both the team, for Memphis and for Ja, I think that does make the most sense.
All right, let's roll through the rest of the NBA here. The next one up, the Lakers are going to be blank when LeBron returns. Drew, let me throw that one to you first.
In the offseason. LeBron James is not coming back. LeBron James doesn't have to come back. I'm just kidding. I think they'll be about I think they'll. Now they took an awful, weird, like unexplainable on the road loss to the Hawks where they were like down 40 points the other day. I have no idea what that was. Luka was playing. I mean, Reeves wasn't playing, but I mean the Hawks were running out the G League team. They started Keaton Wallace and Muhammad Gay. So weird loss there by the Lakers, but I think they'll be about the 5th seed. Luka is otherworldly, but more than that, I think Luka's kind of bought into what the Lakers and more importantly, what JJ Redick wants to do this year. So I think they'll be about the 5th seed. I think LeBron's going to come back around January because he was supposed to come back in mid-November and we haven't heard a peep. And right now his son's getting to play. So if LeBron comes back, bye-bye Bronny minutes. I think they'll be about the 5th seed. I think he'll come back in January. I'm interested to see what the dynamic of this team is because it's Luka's team, but as good as Reeves has looked this year, is LeBron now for the first time, is he considered a third option? I know last year you would have considered him a second option probably to Luka at times, but man, Austin Reeves, elite in the early season. He's out right now, but man, I'm just interested to see what they look like when he comes back.
Malk?
They're going to be dynamic, bro. But I will say, I want Braun to come off the bench. I do. I think it's time to just tell him, like, hey, give us 20 off of the bench and run the second unit. I really don't want to see Braun and Luka play at the same time. I really don't want to see it. Like, we tried it last year. It's weird. It's fun, but like I think that needs to be for like necessary moments because it makes Austin Reeves. It makes his life hell. He can't be Austin. It's just not enough basketball. So yeah, I think it's going to be dynamic. But Braun coming off that bench.
I'm going to say, and this might be low-hanging fruit and kind of a boring answer, but like they're going to be even better than they are right now, and they're really damn good at this point. You guys talked about Luka and obviously Austin Reeves, but like let's talk about some of the other pieces that they brought in there. And it seems like they've been trying to piecemeal things together around LeBron James for a while, and it feels like they might have actually gotten it right. Like they might have actually brought some good pieces in here that are super helpful and fit well together between the toughness of Marcus Smart, despite his boneheaded play that he had last week that almost cost them that game against the Spurs. Jake LaRavia has actually been a really nice addition. Rory's been here, and he's been pretty good for the Lakers. DeAndre Ayton has actually been really good for the Lakers as well. Jackson Hayes can kind of go to that reserve role coming off the bench as a big man as well. Jared Vanderbilt's still there. Gabe Vincent, Connect, Nick Smith Jr. Like they've got pieces there, and it's just going to add to what the Lakers are when LeBron comes back and whether he comes off the bench, which I don't think he would ever accept a role like that, obviously. But yeah, they're just going to be even better. All right, the last one for the NBA. The most surprising team in the NBA right now is the
Detroit.
Oh, good.
No.
Sorry, Malcolm.
No, brother. Just real quick, bruh. Cade Cunningham, Jalen Duren. I mean, JB. It's crazy. The Detroit Pistons are back. Like Detroit soaked this in, man, because this is amazing. First in the East, I'm loving it, man. And I love you, boys. I got to run.
Peace, Malcolm.
See you, Mac. We love you.
Love you guys.
All right, go ahead, Drew.
Yeah, as far as surprising, man, it's shocking to me that this Magic team is sitting. I think they're either sub 500 or below 500. Yeah, I mean the rub on them. They're 4-6 right now as it speaks. I think they're getting beat by the Trailblazers currently, and they're up. But I mean, the rub on them has just been they can't keep their core healthy, and then they go out in the offseason. They give 4 first-rounders for Desmond Bane, which I don't mind. I mean, because you got to think with one of those 4 first-rounders, you've got to draft a guy that's as good, or you've got to draft a conglomerate of guys that adds up to Desmond Bane's value. So, I mean, I don't mind that trade at all. And then, I mean, Desmond Bane has looked awful. He's averaging like 7 points a game. And I mean, Franz and Paolo seem to have taken no steps forward. Jalen Suggs is still very solid, but he's Jalen Suggs. He's got some limitations, and they just seem to have gotten worse at pretty much everything. And the main thing that they've gotten worse at, I said this on the Thursday show. I'll bring the Thursday show back up one more time. Allegedly, their defense is not any good this year, which is just baffling because that's this Orlando Magic era has been the wings, the switchability, Suggs captaining the defense when he's been healthy. I can't believe they're under 500 to start the year. I can't believe they lost to the Boston Celtics last night. I mean, I love the Celtics. Obviously, you can see I'm a Celtics fan, but the Celtics should not be on par. The Celtics roster is not on par with this Magic roster, but maybe it is. Maybe we've overrated Paolo and Franz at what their ceiling is as a duo. And Desmond Bane just looks uncomfortable. I mean, he looks like a fish out of water. So,
all right, I'll take the last one. The most surprising team in the NBA right now is the Miami Heat. I remember when we previewed and you did your little NBA corner, Drew, and Joseph was talking about his season win totals, over and unders, and things like that. And again, I know it's very early. You spoke very poorly about the Miami Heat, and rightfully so. Look, their roster doesn't look great, but they do still have Eric Spoelstra on the sidelines as the coach. And Norman Powell, again, I don't foresee this continuing, but right now averaging over 23 points per game. Bam Adebayo, 20 and 8 right now. Andrew Wiggins, 17 and 5 rebounds as well. Like, they are playing. My boy Jaime Jaquez averaging 17 points a game and 7 rebounds. So they have played above their head right now. And again, don't see this continuing at this point. They're right in the middle of the pack in the East, but they've been, to me, a surprise. And as a Knicks fan, that hurts to say. And I never want to see the Pacers, the Heat good. And it just annoys me that the Heat continue to find a way to stay relevant, even with the lack of legitimate talent that they have there.
Yeah, I don't know how they're doing this shit, and I hate it. I hate the Miami Heat with everything I've got, and I'm with you. They're starting Pell Larson right now. Do any of you know who Pell Larson is? I mean,
sounds like a famous French cyclist.
Pell Larson. We went to Arizona, renowned basketball school, and they're just cool. They're fine. Hate them.
Oh boy. All right. Well, we're an hour and 20 minutes in. Do you guys want to play Fact or Cap? I know this was Miggy's idea, and we can roll through it if y'all want, but thought I'd throw it out to y'all.
Yeah, I think we can pick. You want to just
you each want to pick one?
Yeah, let's just each pick a statement, and we'll give it out, and then the other two can react to the statement that we say, and then we'll be done, and we'll get everybody out of here under an hour and a half, and everybody will be happy, and we'll go eat dinner.
All right, producer Joseph, you starting first. Pick a statement, and then Drew and I will say whether we believe it is fact or we believe it's cap, which for those of you who don't know, it means it's a false statement. We don't believe in it.
Okay. Then I'm going to pick the Bills and the Packers have the similar issue holding them back from being elite teams, their wide receiver core.
That is 100% fact. I'm sorry, Drew. I'm going to jump on this one because I came up with this one. They seem to have the exact same problem. They lose games they shouldn't lose, and it's because they're void of weapons. You know, the offense just the offensive flow just isn't there. And it's on Joe Brady, it's on Matt LaFleur, it's on the play callers, and sometimes I feel like for the Bills, it's kind of like, hey, Josh Allen, you kind of just go do your thing, make the magic happen. And Jordan Love at this point is not good enough because he's not the elite runner that Josh Allen is. And sometimes Josh Allen can go out there and do Josh Allen shit and make stuff work. But for the Packers, like, it just doesn't work. Like, we've talked about this before, that like, I just really feel like they dropped the ball on the wide receiving core. And I know, you know, that Matthew Golden is hurt, and you got Jaden Reed who's hurt as well, and Christian Watson was hurt. Dontavian Wicks was hurt. You know, I get it. Like, these guys have been banged up, but they don't have a true blue stud. And to me, that's really holding them back. And look, the Bills, they don't have a true blue stud as well, but Shakir and Keon Coleman can be good and whatnot. And some of the other guys that they have there that are banged up as well, like Josh Palmer's been out, and then Kincaid just got hurt this weekend, and Dawson Knox is there. And I know Tucker Kraft just got hurt for the Packers. So like, they're void of weapons on the pass catcher side of the football is what really worries me. Obviously, it worries me more for the Packers because Jordan Love is not Josh Allen. So, yeah, to me, I think that's fact.
Yeah, I'll go fact as well. I mean, we've talked about it before, Greg. You hit the highlights pretty well. I think I do want to say that I think the Packers wide receiver core is much more talented than the Bills receiver core because they're running Curtis Samuel out there in 2025. I mean, that's not nothing. I mean, I'd take Christian Watson. If Christian Watson is now, I know that he's the closest to the prototypical wide receiver one, but with the injuries, I'll have to see where he's playing tonight in the formations that he's running. But I mean, I think the Packers wide receiver core as a whole is much more talented than this wide receiver core. But yeah, I mean, I'd say absolutely fact that is the number one thing holding the Bills back right now. Is, I mean, Josh Allen magic only goes so far.
All right, I'll take this next one. I'm going to take a college football one for you guys. The Texas A&M Aggies are the team to beat in the SEC. Go ahead.
All you, buddy.
Oh, dude, this is fact. I'm going to be honest with you. I think it's fact because to me, they feel like the most complete team in the SEC in the way that they can attack in multiple ways. They can run the ball. They can run the ball with Marcel Reed. They can get the ball to the playmakers on the edge between Mario Craver and KC Concepcion. The defense is solid. They fly around. Torian York is an absolute stud. I feel like they have the least amount of flaws in the SEC. I know, like, looking at some of these teams, Texas's offense is kind of hit and miss. Bama's run game is non-existent, even though that hasn't stopped them yet. Georgia gives up too many points early, in my opinion. They're a little too inconsistent. I think those are Ole Miss. God bless them. They couldn't stop a nosebleed against Georgia, and that cost them a game. I don't think they'd have success stopping this Texas A&M offense either. So I think for a fact right now, as weird as that might be to say, because some people have, let's call it Aggie derangement syndrome, where it's like, oh, hey, this is what Texas A&M does. They lose games they're not supposed to. They haven't done that this year. I think the culture change that Mike Elko has placed on this team has taken effect, and I think they're the most complete team in the SEC.
All right. I'm going to go cap just because I've looked at the rest of these, and I don't know if we're going to get a cap out of either one of you looking at these prompts. So I'm going to at least say the word cap so the segment has some validity. Here's the thing. Texas A&M has not been to this promised land that they seem to be headed for in a while. So I haven't seen what they look like when they're playing a big-time game, an important game, a game that is on national television because, I mean, to be honest with you, Texas A&M has kind of been on my side screen all year. I can't tell you that I've like focused in on these Texas A&M games because they've been that good. I mean, they're kind of suffering from Ohio State disease. Like they're just beating the crap out of most of these teams, or they're playing Arkansas, which I'm not going to watch. So I'll go cap. I guess if I had to pick a team to beat them, it would probably be a team that can score with them, like Ole Miss or Georgia. I don't know if Alabama's capable of beating this team because they can't run the ball. So Simpson would have to be on. I mean, he'd have to be his best game of the year would have to come out here. And I mean, this Texas A&M defense has looked very solid outside of a couple games here and there. So yeah, I'll go cap just for the sake of the segment. And then, it's me. Oh, okay.
You pick next.
My bad. Okay, let's see here. Sure, we were talking about this pre-show, so I kind of want to hear you guys. I kind of want to hear you guys' actual opinions on this. The best backup QB in the league right now in the NFL is Davis Mills. Fact or cap?
Do you want me to take it, or you know where you're going?
Go for it, Greg. I'm
going to say cap. This is a man who got his first win in the National Football League since 2022. And I get, look, CJ Stroud has been there and this, that, and the other thing. And Davis Mills is a very capable quarterback. I get it. But I want somebody who's had a little bit more recent success. And I want somebody who has shown the ability to sort of be explosive, not only as a passer, but also with his legs, because I like a little dual threat in my quarterbacks. And again, you guys or whomever's listening to this can say this is a homer pick all you want. But what I saw out of Malik Willis in his backup stead with the Green Bay Packers last season, I was really impressed. And Chase will, talk about him being with the Titans and how bad he looked. He looked like an absolute different player in the green and gold from the Titan blue and white. So I'm going to go with Malik Willis. Look, in his 2 starts he had last year, in the time he played, he had 138 yards rushing on 20 carries, also had a touchdown rushing. And when he threw the football, he didn't look inept. He completed, what was it? I think it was like 70 some odd percent of his passes, 74% of his passes for 550 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, didn't turn the football over. And as we mentioned, that dual threat ability and Matt LaFleur calling plays specifically for him was really good. So I'll take Malik Willis. I'm going to take the homer pick and just, so I can say cap.
All right. I'm also going to say cap, and I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to pick the old head. Give me Joe Flacco, dude. I mean, he's been there. He's a veteran presence. No, he's not like
Does he really count as a
Great.
backup?
I think he does. And the reason I count him as a backup is because if Joe Burrow was healthy, he would not be starting.
If Joe Burrow was on that team, he wouldn't be on that team.
Exactly. Like that's where I'm at with this. So like I'm considering him a backup because he's played backup style roles the past few years for teams. Like every time he's been signed, every time he's went somewhere, it's always like, hey, this is temporary. We just need a veteran guy to step in. Like we're not like, hey, we're signing our franchise quarterback as Joe Flacco, baby. I don't know. I'm picking the old head, dude. I just think he's been around the game for a long time. He's solid. He's not like you're not going to get a bunch of ups and downs and vast like wild performances and then super super low performances. I'll take Joe.
Joe Flacco. Well, there you have it, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. That is another edition of Chatt It Up Sports. Make sure you follow us on all platforms. Like, subscribe across all platforms as well. YouTube especially. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. That really helps us out. And again, obviously listen and then tell your friends and tell your family and tell your extended family and everybody that's listening to podcasts anywhere you get your podcasts as well. If they like sports, to come check us out. And of course, the nightcap or the night chat with Joseph and Drew, freaking awesome. I have people like talking to me about it that aren't even, I'm not even like, don't even see them all that much anymore. And they still watch it. And I actually had that guy that I told you guys about send me a screenshot of like the notification of like, yo, they're going live. And he was in there. So he was excited about it. Shout out to my man, Dom. So that's going to do it for the show. For Malcolm Harris, who had to run out, Joseph Guthrie, Drew Rogers, Chase Green in Louisville, Kentucky, our boy Garrett Tolley. We miss you all. We love y'all. Thanks so much for listening. And I'm Greg Lerner. We'll see you on Thursday or on Friday, I guess. Peace and love.